Come in, come in, come in. Come in, come in, come in. And I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. So, what I'm actually talking about today is okay, have you ever lied about something and thought about it? Like, man, I should have told the truth anyway. Like, you know that the lie that you're going to tell is that something that you're going to be able to cover up and then cover it up and then you got to get covered up again. But I was thinking, like, I remember when I was a kid, and that was one thing that, when I tell a lie, I'm like, okay, man, it's not that bad, right? The lie's not that bad. But you found out that they asked you the same question in a different way. Now you done lied about the first thing you done lied about. So that's what I want to talk about today is what is it that causes us to really lie? Like, what is it that really calls you to really say, let me think about it, and then I can give you a better answer. Instead of just coming out and saying it, like, hey, this is what I have done, taking ownership of it. Like, truly taking ownership of it. Instead, it's like, we rather choose to lie because I think I know why. Because I think when I was growing up, the lie seemed so easy to tell. It's like, nope. Did you do it? Nope. You sure you ain't do it? Nope. I ain't do it. I ain't do it. I ain't do it at all. Right? But it's like, why is it that we would rather go that way instead of going the right way? And that's the reason what brought this up is because I have young men that I'm held accountable to. And they feel like they can lie. And it's like, bro, you don't gotta lie. If you tell the truth up front, whether how the outcome goes, you accept the outcome because you just accept the wrong that you just did. By you accepting the wrong that you did, you accepting the terms and conditions of what you have done. So I think not even I think. It's one of those things of I'd rather tell a lie because if I tell a lie, it won't be that bad up front. But now you're prolonging the lie. You're prolonging the lie instead of just telling the truth. So that's what I want to know to somebody else is why lie? Why lie instead of telling the truth? What would make you want to lie instead of just telling the truth? I know that when you lie, it's not something that you have to face at the moment. But as time go on, you're gonna have to face that lie you just told. It's gonna come up in some form, some fashion that lets you know, like, hey, you lied, right? Instead of just telling the truth. Have you ever wanted to take a moment before you tell a lie and say, let me tell you what happened and why I did it? I think if kids do that today, things can go so much better. But I think it's in the moment. It's the shock of the system in the moment when somebody asks you the question. It's like somebody when you about to public speak and somebody point at you and say, yeah, you go up there. But it's like, why not address the feeling that you feel like, man, I really don't want to tell the truth. But you also told yourself that we want to commit this issue. We want to make this issue. Oh, we wanted to commit this crime or we wanted to make this decision. That's what I want to know. Like, what caused you to say, I'm okay with making this decision to do this wrong, but I'm not going to admit my wrong. I'm going to lie about it. That's the one thing that I'm telling like kids today is, man, you don't have to lie to me. I have never given you told you an atmosphere that you have to lie to me. That's never been it. I've always been upfront with you, and I thought that was going to be the same. But I know as kids, it's something totally different. It's totally different. It's like, I don't want to face the music in the beginning when you have told me why. That's what I want to know. Like, what would cause a kid to tell a lie up front and then come back, circle back around and say, hey, I did do it. That's what I want to know. And then it's one of those things. It's like, I tell them all the time, I love you and I feel for you. But we can't go back to this part of we want to lie now and then come back around and say, hey, I lied to you. I told you wrong. I did do it, but I didn't want you to fuss at me or, hey, You you gotta face the music. It's the music that you gotta face. As a young man, if you face it now, you will understand. Like the one thing I tell my kids right now, my own kids, is listen to my words, not my volume. Because yeah, you hear what I'm if you hear what I'm saying, you could be able to get through how loud I'm telling you. Like, yeah, I'm fussing at you because I love and I'm passionate about you, and you just did what you did. Then you wanted to tell me something different to make it sound good for me, and that's the wrong thing to go about it. And it's like, why not just tell me up front? And then this, and I know that as a human being and as a an adult, the standard is that we hold a torch, right? I get it. But as a mentor pouring into you, the one thing that I expect is the same way. I expect you to hold your own torch. I do. I expect you to hold your own torch, because if you hold your own torch, you say, "Hey, Mr. Will, I just want to, like, my torch is getting heavy." Okay, cool. Why is your torch getting heavy? Why is it that the things that you're dealing with seem heavy when I'm right here holding my torch and I'm about to hold yours, right? It should be a thing of, "Hey, this is what I'm dealing with." And if you are dealing with those things, how do I know what you're dealing with? And then you go out and make a mistake, and then you want me to help you through the mistake. No, let's deal with it beforehand so it doesn't get to the back end where you have to go ahead and tell me what you have done. And that's the thing that I think we have to get through, or that I'm getting through to kids, is that tell me the truth up front so we can face it together. But if you tell me a lie, and then you holding my hand telling me a lie, and then you come back around and be like, "Yeah, that's that's not true." It's like, now we have to figure out where we go from here. Now it's like your cord of truth, of your cord of trust, is now, it's getting cut back. It's getting cut back. Now I have to analyze, like, okay, what are you saying? How are you saying it? When are you doing? What caused that? And are we telling the truth now? You see what I'm saying? Now it's like, I trust you, yeah, because you just told me some new information. I trust you, yeah, but is this the accurate, truthful information, right? Then you have to go back to the part of, yeah, I have to forgive and trust this kid moving forward. But now it's one of those things of, where do we go from here? We have to build a plan some way, somehow, from a mentor to mentee, to where we go from here. Where we go from here, because if we can't move forward, and if you're not going to be okay with telling me good, bad, ugly, then it's one of those things, we back at square one again. So I want to know, like, if you have had a child or kid or someone in your community, or someone, or a grown adult to adult, lie to you, and then you feel like some kind of way about it. What is the thing that you're faced with? That's what I want you to share with today. Is that I want to share, good, bad, ugly, because we all have, issues, struggles, and things that we want to tell, things that we don't want to tell, because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want the person to look at us different, look at us weird. But for me, as my mentees, I'm always going to see them as what they can be. Yeah, if you lie, I'm always still going to see what you can be, because I can only hear and receive what I receive from parents of, "Hey, this is what happened, this is what went on." I get that. So I take two pieces of information and I make it my own. Meaning, like, kid information, parent information, and we make it our own. We analyze and figure out what is true, what is not. But again, I will always love that kid. I will always make sure that they have someone they can be able to depend on. They have someone they can be able to say, "Hey, no matter what, I can come to Mr. Will. I can come to Mr. Will. I can confide in him, because I understand that he's not going to judge." Because the one thing I would never want to do with a kid is judge a kid at all. You was a kid at one point. When you felt like somebody judged you immediately. Oh, you always do that. come at you like that, what's the percentage of you going back to them? It's going to be very low, right? It's going to be very low. And it is not accepting everything. It is more, I received the information, but I'm what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the best response in that time. The best response in that time. And it's going to be me just not responding. It's just going to be me not responding immediately. It's going to be me, okay, this is the information I received. I appreciate you telling me. I appreciate everything you give me. But next, now I need to give you my honest review. And as I give my honest review, it is coming from a place of love and understanding that I used to be in your same shoes, not wanting to tell somebody how I felt, what's going on. But at some point, you just got to face that. You got to face that. Because if we keep, as a parent and as a mentor, if we keep these kids feeling like, hey, I can't come to you or I can't come to that person, what's going to happen is that you're going to have kids that is dealing with their emotions internally and they're going to self-implode. So if we can get them out of the box, if we can get them to share what they're going through, what they're dealing with mentally, what they're dealing with physically, how they're dealing with their emotions, how they're not able to share, it will help not only kids in school, it will only help kids in the community. But the one thing is getting over those. There's, and I get it. Some kids, they may not want to share. They may say, nah, I'm good. Keep asking them. Keep asking them, because if you stop asking, there's a whole like I told my kids yesterday, there's a whole conversation going on in another person's mind that they're not sharing with you, right? We all have done it. We all have those little silent conversations, conversations that we have with one another. And the thing that I want kids to understand is it's okay to have the silent conversation, but that silent conversation needs to come out. It needs to come out in a way where you telling somebody what you're going through. If you can't tell somebody verbally, put it on paper. We can pass that paper back and forth all day long, right? That's what I want kids to understand, is that share. And if that person don't want to hear it, then this may not be the person that's best for you to hear the intimate, most deep stuff about you. And it don't have to be shared. And one thing that I understand is, if you want embarrassment, you're going to get embarrassment with embarrassment. That means that if you try to correct someone in front of everybody, there's always an audience somewhere, and you're going to match audience with audience, and then it's not going to be good. So the one thing that I want to really do and really show young men is, I ain't going to embarrass you. I'm not going to embarrass you, but I'm not going to let your fire try to make me feel some kind of way. That means that I'm going to separate you from your audience, and we're going to deal with this one-on-one. We're going to deal with this one-on-one, because I can see you and you can see me. So when you see me, then you can be able to understand that I care for you. And I can see you where you can say, man, that's not you. Now, if it is you, then we can go from there. But that's what I wanted to see and share today, because we have so many young men that may have silent battles. So many young men in school, high school, middle school, elementary, dealing with dealing with silent battles. So if there's a caring heart that is dealing with kids, that is in an urban community, suburban community, a middle community, find a way to reach their hearts. You got to go through some barriers, but the one thing I say, before you even go through that battle, you better check yourself. You better check yourself, because if you're not built for that communication, that back and forth, then you're not the person that can be able to get that young person out of the storm that they're in, out of the mindset or state of mind that they're in, then that's not you. I understand that you are caring, loving, helpful, smiley, and everything, but you need to get somebody in that situation that can be able to help bridge the gap between either you and that kid, or just that person that's supposed to be bridging the gap between that person that's bridging the gap and that kid. That I think that'd be the better option, because we have people nowadays that just dealing like spazzing out on kids, and then not expecting the kid to spaz out on them, and then you having a back and forth that could have been avoided, but you felt like you had to express yourself to a kid to let them know who the dominant one in the conversation. You're already the dominant one. You're an adult. You're an adult. So us as an adults, we need to love on them more. We need to care for them more. And we need to just be there for them. Kids want you to be there for them and love on them, but there's barriers to them. There's barriers to them. Get over yourself. Get to the kid, and I bet they're gonna be your fan forever. They're gonna be the person that you want for forever. And that's the one thing that I always want kids to understand. For now, that's what I want kids to understand now is, man, I'm always going to care for you, but you got to take off the mask. You got to take off the mask. If you don't take off the mask, I can't deal with you as a person. Meaning, like, not saying that I'm going to push you away, but it's saying that you're not going to be able to hear me the way that I want you to hear me. And what I'm about to give you, it's valuable to you. And by you not listening, and by you got on this mask of this false identity, what's going to happen is that you're going to be on the defense instead of I need you to be on the offense, on really listening to like what I'm having to say. But then that's also communication that has to come from both sides. And I believe that's why that word comes from slow to speak and quick to listen, because you can give, but you got to now listen to what that kid is saying. The kid is not, yeah, I know that you're an adult and you maybe got a lot to say, a lot of wisdom, but that kid is dealing with something that he wants to tell you. But if you're not allowing him to speak in his way of speaking, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. And every kid may not have a good way of communicating. It may come out like word vomit. I always say word vomit because it's one of those things of, it's like a lot of everything coming out at once. It's like what is that thing called? Fight hydrant, I think it is. Fight hydrant. As soon as you unlock it and all the water comes out, that's what it sounds like sometimes. So we have to get through the weeds. We have to get through what we're looking to get through in order to get to their heart. I believe that once we get to their heart, we can have transformation in places where it needs transformation. Yeah, and that is so true. And I believe that teachers don't get as much credit as they should. Yeah, teachers don't get as much credit as they should. And sometimes it's paid too. I got a cousin now who's a teacher, and me and him talk all the time. It's like, sad to say, but it's like a daycare for older kids, because you would think that kids would want to go to school, learn, get something from it, be able to share ideas, be able to share knowledge, be able to share things that they learn. But no, kids is going to school with baggage. Kids is taking things from outside of home in school, and then outside of the community in school. They're taking fights from yesterday, conversations from yesterday, bringing it in school from today. And it's like, that's the only thing that they know. Just to say it, not taking up for kids, but it's just, if you haven't showed me better, how can I do better? You see what I'm saying? How can I do better where all I hear all day is do that, do this, and do that? And I understand we all have jobs to do, and anything extra needs to be a bump in pay. I agree with you. It should be a bump in pay, but those are the terms and conditions that we have agreed to. And I believe that as you do your part, kids do their part. And I know if you get the ones that gives you the most trouble, those can be your leaders in school. Those can be your leaders in the hallway. Those can be your leaders in the classrooms. But be particular with the ones that you actually get in your corner that can be able to navigate. Hey, that person over there is the one who stirs up trouble. And if that kid is helping you direct school, like, hey, that's the one who's going to give you the most trouble, then you need them to go about pulling that person to the side and like, hey, how can I help you downgrade? Like not downgrade, but like how can I help you become the best you and not have so much trouble or not stir up so much trouble in school? That would be a better option. And another option would be is how to build in school communities of growth. That means taking those who are doing well in class, doing good in school, and immersing them with kids who are not doing so well in class and stirs up so much trouble. But it need to be a mediator that can be able to get those two groups together where this group can understand this one and this group can understand that one. It's not saying that you got to live the life that I live. It is saying that I need you to at least see what the what's going on in my roots right now. And my roots is different from your roots. Don't and the worst thing that I can the best advice I can give you or anybody who's a mentor, mentee, is don't say I've been in your shoes and you haven't been in their shoes. that's the worst comeback ever that I've heard. I feel you. No, you don't. You don't feel that person. If you don't know what to say, just say, I'm sorry that happened to you, or say something of the lines. It doesn't make a person aggravated and make them seem like you don't understand. That will cut a person off, right? So if a kid is coming from a community where there's gun violence, where there's violence, where there's fights, and you've been over here in the suburbs or you've been over here where that hasn't happened at all, don't say, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're going through. You don't. Just say, man, I'm sorry that you have to go through that. Or say up the lines, is that really what you're going through? Man, that is crazy that you're going through that. That's crazy that you're going through that. And I apologize that you're going through that. Now, here's what we can do to make sure that this community is better than what you're going back to, right? It is a community of growth. It is a community of possibility. It is a community of here's what we can do without any limits. Here's what we can do without any limits. Because once you show a kid that has a bad past, that has a tough upbringing, possibility, the growth can be substantial. But in order for that to start, it has to start with kids. Only way kids can change is if other kids help them change also, but it has to be an adult to navigate those lanes, that roadmap. Sometimes because with this kid going through different things and this kid going through different things and they're trying to help navigate, sometimes it's going to hit the rails. It's going to try to merge off a different exit, but that person who's a mediator can keep them on the right path to say, hey, this is what you can do. This is what you can't do. Here's what y'all are doing together that work, but here's how y'all can go about making sure that, things are a little bit better for the both of you, right? So that's what I wanted to really, so really talk about and really see. The one thing that we actually, just talking about now is we'd like to see it in the chat of like, what are some things that, that you dealt with in growing up, that you dealt with, that you felt like was a struggle or tough for you, that you like when you faced it, it was difficult for you to actually deal with, and how did you overcome those feelings? And yeah, that's what that's what I was thinking. But so we covered lying, we covered how to help a kid overcome lying. So lying, helping kids overcome lying, and what happens when you lie, and the possibility of telling the truth up front. So that's what we talked about today. Hopefully this information help somebody in chat, help somebody who's looking at this. Because the one thing that I want to do at New Steps Foundation, seriously, is that I really do want to help as many young males as possible, and many parents too. So, which is valuable. If you ask a close-ended question, those are the worst, and it is awkward. It is awkward silence. It is awkward silence. It really is. And the one thing that bothers me, I wouldn't say bother me. That's the wrong way of saying that. It doesn't bother me, but when I do, it makes me cringe a little bit when I hear somebody say, "How was school?" It's like you definitely gonna get a closed answer. It's gonna be one or two things. It's gonna be good or bad, or okay. I've been hearing okays now, so it's like okay. So the best way with that is yeah, open-ended questions. And if you don't know open-ended questions, and if you haven't heard the term, that's fine. Open-ended is basically asking the same question but a different way that makes them can't say yes or no. They have to answer it. They have to answer the question. So it's saying, what made class good for you today in math? What made math good for you today? Oh, now they have to think about it because they were ready for your how was school today? Good. How was school? Bad. How was school? It was okay. Right? So it's like, how was math for you today? What did you learn? Or yeah, what did you learn today in math? Oh, I learned about, see, now they have to answer it. And yeah, but yeah, sometimes silence is good, but sometimes silence is one of those things where when you ask a kid like how was school today, it can be weird. Yeah, it can be weird because sometimes kids don't want to talk. But I think that's one of those things. Kids have to understand how to communicate. Kids have to understand that it's okay to communicate. I don't know where we went to the part where when you reach a teenager, you have to stop talking to your parents or stop talking to adults. Where did that? Is that a thing that it's an adoption, meaning like like the kid adopt not communicating to a certain extent? Now they love you, as a mentor. They love you as mentors. They love you as parents. But at what point did they like? Was it a switch that flips, or I don't understand? Yeah, I love them, but it's like I need to be closed off in my room with my headphones on. Like what causes? What point where you say, hey? What point did a kid say, hey, I want to be in my room more with my headphones on, not talk to my siblings, not talk to my parents? What? I didn't understand that. Yeah, it's like but the thing I find funny is how can you? I think it is the hormones too. I think it is the hormones not knowing what to do with them. It's like, man, I got a lot of energy for, I don't know, like it's a lot of energy going on through my body, and my body's changing and everything. But it's like, at what point that, okay, can you tell me exactly what's up with the headphones? I see teenagers all the time in the supermarket with headphones, and I wonder what they're listening to. But because I remember when I was growing up, yeah, we didn't have cell phones. Yeah, we didn't have cell phones. So yeah, that probably aged a little bit. But yeah, we didn't have cell phones, right? We didn't have cell phones because we communicated. Not no, we didn't. No, did we? Yeah, we didn't have cell phones. We did communicate in the hallways. We had to communicate in the hallways because we ain't had nothing else. We have nothing better to do. Like Nextels was the best thing out, which was the weirdest thing. The chirping noise in high school, you felt like you were the thing. But I really, I think it's one of those things for kids nowadays, not knowing how to express. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Phones. Then you had to put minutes on your phone, so that was the worst too. But for kids nowadays, I just really want to know, like, what at one point that you said, I need to have headphones on my head at all times, and I need to be in my room at all times, like, and not talk to people and be closed off. And it's like, at one point, I think that's what our research today is like. At what point did a kid like those behaviors start happening? Is it something that is it an adoption? Is it like something that they adopt? Did they see it and they adopt, or did they say this seems better to do instead of talking and chilling with my mom, instead of chilling with my father, learning from my mom how to cook or learning how to do wash some clothes? What was it? What was it? You know,